We're on a grand tour of Switzerland.
A country known for its shimmering lakes and snowy mountain peaks.
Don't forget the bulging bank accounts.
Of course. Its 8 million citizens are among the wealthiest in the world.
They do indeed. Whether it's an eccentric flight of fancy or a more serious architectural marvel.
I love this austerity.
This is a nation of creative architects and skilled craftspeople who are making buildings that are simply breathtaking.
This is what I've found. First stop on our Swiss adventure takes us to an alpine idyll, amid ancient pine forests and meadows of breathtaking loveliness.
Picture postcard, Swiss landscape, real ski country.
This is Switzerland, but only just. We're only just into Switzerland because this is France, just there, actually.
And of course, skiing means it's chalet country too, which we can see.
But these typically Swiss houses, built to withstand snowy winters with thick walls and overhanging roofs, aren't what we've come for. We're visiting a home that shows what's possible when an architect takes a traditional building form and transforms it into a contemporary language.
And here it is, the modern version of the traditional Swiss chalet.
And how cute.
This weekend wilderness retreat was built on land belonging to the owner's family. Perched on a cliff edge, this angular black timber cabin nods to its vernacular ancestry, but its shape has been dramatically reimagined.
It is a chalet that's been pulled apart and tweaked and
Reassembled into a modern way, yeah.
It's also a piece of mountain.
Yes, it mirrors the mountains beautifully. I wonder what the two halves are about.
Well, this one is living and eating and stuff, and the other, well, let's go and find out.
The house is split into two sections with a cleft at the back and doors and walls at unusual angles to one another. On the ground floor, this V-shape separates the living space from a music room. Above, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and an office have fantastic mountain views. The dark wood of the exterior contrasts dramatically with its surroundings.
I always think the most important part of any building is the way in. Here we are arriving at the intersection between these two volumes, and also what looks like a bit of the inside.
And it's all just made to encourage us to open the door. It's a pretty space. You walk right into that split between the two areas.
It's a very particular sensation arriving up into the mountains, this craggy, wild landscape, stepping into this glowing, honey-coloured space.
The timber-lined entrance directs you into a warm and welcoming living space.
Gosh, pink! I did not expect to find pink in this environment.
You thought it'd just be more wood.
And you wouldn't have thought so from outside because it looks incredibly practical. But of course it's romantic. You only have to look at the incredible view to realise it's people who love being in this environment. And here's a fantastic kitchen. I think you'll like this, P. This material, this wood, this pine just carries right on through. Only now we've got the addition of this fantastic black granite, which sort of replicates the mountains outside, but also the wood. So that brings the trees that surround this house into the house.
It's interesting, that limited palette of materials that architects really get off on, the sense that you restrain your palette to just one or two things.
I love the idea of that, but I do think sometimes domestically life leads you in other directions. You know, you've got children and therefore you will have plastics. You have dogs, therefore you have dog beds. You want to live in that beautiful, stylish way, but that kind of simplicity of vision is really hard to adhere to. Piers, this is a music room.
This is a house of sharp angles, but the pine on the floor, the walls and the ceiling make the interior spaces surprisingly comfortable.
This is a vertical slice of a room, but what a place to work.
The hustle and bustle of city life feels far away here.
How wonderful to have a room in a mountain escape completely devoted to music. I mean, it's like something out of a fairy tale, isn't it?
Upstairs, the sleeping quarters are tucked up under the angled roof of the house.
This really is a bedroom where you can have your cake and eat it. You can be perched like a bird in landscape.
This deceptively spacious house has made the owners feel profoundly connected to the mountains.
Caroline is clearly inspired by her surroundings. This modern chalet was built as a peaceful sanctuary for its owners, Olivier and Céline, as an antidote to their busy urban lives.
This split is an unconventional architectural move. But elsewhere, Simon Chezet, who designed this modern take on a traditional chalet, was keen to make a virtue of the region's architectural heritage.
When I arrived, I saw the house was lifted up. Why is there that overhang?
We thought it was interesting to have this kind of sensation being just above ground and then
Hovering.
just hovering,
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
this is one reason. The second reason is you can't just put timber directly on the ground. You have to have a kind of a
buffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have this concrete base which plays with tradition. In all the rural chalet in the Swiss mountains, they invented these things, which is lifting the wooden piece just above the ground so that mice couldn't go inside to eat all the, I don't know how to call it.
Grain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The clean lines of Simon's design might suggest that this was a simple build, but appearances can be deceptive. The completion of this contemporary chalet has left a lasting impression on its creator.
It's still very much just a cabin in the woods, isn't it?
It is. It shows that tradition isn't a dormant thing. It's something that you reinvent, and it's a living, breathing thing, because this is still a Swiss chalet.
I love the fact that they use this place to get out of the city and to reconnect with the mountains and with their creative life.
Speaking of creative endeavours, Caroline, don't you have a little something for me?
Oh, yes.
I've discovered an architect with an intellect like a mountain, and I have found a new way of life, looking at houses